if we open these floodgates, then that means people will be asking, why can I not take my cow to the movies?
Welcome to The Woofy Show. Join hosts Brian and Magda as they bring you insights, real stories, and smart tips for raising happy and healthy dogs.
Should dogs be allowed to go everywhere babies go? What are your thoughts on that? Actually, no, wait. Before I get your thoughts, let's talk about the reason why we're asking that question. Recently, there's been I think there's a few videos, but there's been one in specific on TikTok where this woman is on like a bus or a subway with her dog, and she's talking about why she thinks dogs should be allowed everywhere that babies and kids go. So we're going to kind of react to it. You haven't seen this video.
No, I have not.
So we're going to play it right now, and we'll show it up on the screen if you're watching this. Otherwise, you'll hear the audio of it. It's like a minute video. And we're going to, give our two cents, our thoughts on this. So
dogs should be allowed everywhere that babies are allowed.
100% disagree. Dogs belong outside.
No, dogs should be allowed inside. Everywhere that a baby goes, a dog should be allowed to
She
go.
has a chihuahua.
Restaurants, movie theaters, airplanes, hotels, all the things.
Movie theaters? You want to bring your fucking pit bull to a film?
Pigeon saw Knives Out in theater with me.
Well, this is an exception. This is an exceptionally beautiful
That's
creature.
not even a dog.
I wouldn't even classify this as a dog.
It's a chihuahua for those of you
When you
that
go
are
out to
listening.
dinner and you hear babies screaming and crying and throwing things on the ground, you should consider if a dog should be allowed there too, because also the dogs can clean up the mess that a baby leaves. I mean, should we put human lives ahead of dog lives?
You want to bring your dog to the grocery store?
Oh, I do. I actually do.
Okay.
And is it walking on the ground like a dog, or is it sitting in the cart
Usually I
like a
put him
freak?
in the cart with
Like
like
a
a
freak.
coat
You
underneath
put him in the
it.
cart?
Yeah.
You bring a bed.
A coat or a scarf or something.
What about the doctor's office?
Bed.
I have brought him to the doctor's office, and you know what? The doctor was pleasantly surprised.
What about? Well, this is an exception. What if you had a golden retriever in the
that
dentist's
makes sense.
office?
Yeah.
That sounds to me like an occupational hazard because those things are dumb and big.
Yeah, well, the law
All
with dogs
Goldens are
running
dumb.
places when I'm mayor, it will have nuance to
When
it.
she's
So like
mayor.
dogs under a certain size can go to certain places.
We'll workshop it.
I mean,
I'll vote
I
for
think
her.
that this is awful.
I'm winning you over.
No. Let me tell you, I am more radicalized in the direction that I originally came in.
Radicalized.
With the exception of this. This can stay. This can go wherever it wants.
He's talking
Yeah.
about
This
her
thing
dog,
is
her
okay.
chihuahua.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
I mean, first of all, she has a chihuahua. Chihuahuas go everywhere anyhow
Everything like
because
Paris Hills made that popular, like the handbag dog.
they legit fit inside of your hand, so they can go anywhere.
And so,
Should they though?
No, because they can be. Chihuahuas are very yappy too, and I think this is like, can they go over? I get the concept of babies. Babies are loud, they cry, they're messy. They're like, well, a well-behaved dog is not like that, but also a well-behaved baby is not like that. So it's, do you know what I mean? Like hotels, dogs can go to like dog-friendly hotels. A movie theater, imagine a dog.
But she made a comment, why should we put human lives before dog lives? That was her comment, and that kind of like struck with me. And it's like, because it's a human.
Yeah.
If you open those floodgates of putting a dog's life before a human life, which law already does that for us, human lives are obviously superior to dog lives.
Yeah.
We can all agree on
Yes.
that. So that's not even a question. But if we open these floodgates, then that means people will be asking, why can I not take my cow to the movies?
Yeah. Or
my
where?
bird.
Well, and I think that's,
Like, where does it stop?
yeah.
right?
And I guess that's the thing. It's like, what is allowed and what is not allowed?
Why can't I take my cat or my hamster or whatever other pet there is? Why can I not take them to these places?
Yeah, that's a very valid point. So it's like, so should dogs be allowed everywhere babies are? What's your answer?
It's a very difficult question because obviously this woman, she's a proper dog mom. And to be honest, she sounds like something that I would say on TikTok just for a laugh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she's like 100% like kind of serious.
Well, she said she wants to be mayor.
But she wants to be a mayor, so I assume she is. But I don't know. I feel like dogs shouldn't be allowed everywhere. Obviously, there should be some kind of boundary. What annoys me personally as a dog owner is that I know my dogs would have fun in some of these places.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wish I could bring them and I can't.
And you know that your dog will be behaved too. And
Yeah.
I think, and you're right. And I think that's where it is. It's like, this is not there's no black and white yes or no answer, because it's just depends. It's the same with like, I think there are maybe certain places babies can't go. I mean, obviously bars and all of that stuff like makes sense. But it is that thing of, you can't say yes because there's a lot of really bad dog owners there. Like that guy said, "Oh, what about golden retrievers are dumb?" Like, no, you're dumb.
You're dumb for saying
dumb person
that.
with your credit card attached to a microphone. Yeah, so it all depends on the dog, but you can't. Dogs are not humans. Dogs are not babies. You cannot compare the two. Yes, babies are loud and annoying and they're messy, but that's what babies are.
Yeah.
It's just
like I don't
period. That's what they are.
I personally
you know?
don't like babies either. I don't like sitting on a plane next to a baby. If I go somewhere to a restaurant or to an event or whatever, I don't want to hear a baby cry.
But that's us because we don't have kids. So I imagine this woman doesn't have kids either. Most people that have those extreme views.
However, I feel like as a parent of that child that's screaming, you should be considerate and take that child out of the situation in order to let other people enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And the same should apply for the dog owners too. Like if the restaurants, for instance, opened up the gates a little bit and told us, hey, you can have your dog here as long as it's well behaved.
Well, I think there's a lot of patios like that.
Yeah, but the same should apply to other things as well, to people and to babies specifically. If your baby is screaming.
I know, but people don't see it that way. People just be like, that's just babies. I can't leave, you know what I mean? Where I feel like most dog owners, if you are at a restaurant or you are even in a pet store and your dog's going crazy, you leave. That's just because it's embarrassing.
It
is.
is.
People are embarrassed of babies, but they just like, whatever. You can do about that. But you're right. And then there's the problem of...
You're in a restaurant, you can go back home.
And then there is the problem of like people are allergic to dogs. So, I mean, I'm allergic to cats, so it makes sense. I would not want to be sitting on a plane next to a cat.
But
so
this is 2025. There are medications for that. And people normally who are, you are going somewhere.
That's true.
And there could be a potential of you having an allergic reaction to whatever. Yeah, but you prepare yourself and you take the drugs necessary.
But if you went everywhere and you had to worry about that, that's the thing. That's the difference. It's like no matter where you go, it's like, hey, I want to, like the movie theater, that's them. Why would you take? I can't imagine. I would feel bad. My dog has to sit there for 2 hours while there's like really loud movies going. Like that's just not practical. I think it's like, is it practical? Grocery store, I understand because it's the safe health, like the food safety. Like if you have a tiny little dog, they're in the shopping cart, whatever. That's a little bit because now they're contained. But if a dog walking around a grocery store, because you know how many dogs pee on corners. Just they're bred to do that. Where like a baby will not pee on food or produce, they're wearing diapers or whatever. And so that's the difference. It's like, there are a lot of aspects, even a very well-behaved dog, you just don't know. You don't know if something's going to startle them and they're going to start barking. You don't know if
that's the thing.
There's stuff spilled on the floor.
You're right. Like, especially, for instance, when we go somewhere, like the movie theater, would my dog have more fun chilling at home and doing its own thing rather than sitting in one spot, doing expected to be behaved and watching a movie? Yeah.
It's not, and
it's
so
just, why would I do that to my dog?
And that's what you have to think about. It's like,
if I'm going away somewhere to a spa or whatever, I don't want to take care of a dog.
We were at the spa last week. Imagine bringing your dog with you. We went to the spa to escape the dog for a day.
Yeah. So, I think my dog will have a lot more fun with the dog sitter, going for walks, chasing sticks, than they will following me around wherever I go. Like, I understand I'm attached to my dogs too. However, having that little break apart from them is not necessarily like a bad thing.
And then that's the thing. If you have a small little toy dog, carrying them around all day, is that good for the dog? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's still a dog. It needs to be carried. Like that chihuahua on that video, I'm sorry, obese.
Yes, it was overweight. And so like, cause that dog probably doesn't walk anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think my answer to that is if your dog can, if wherever you want to take your dog, if they are able to walk, then yes. Like if they're able to walk on a leash next to you and be behaved like a hardware store or, and not like touch anything in a sense. Yeah. So a grocery store, no, because there's no way they would ignore all of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, hey, banana.
A Home Depot or wherever,
That's what service dogs are trained for, is to ignore absolutely everything and focus on the job that they're doing, which is why service dogs are allowed to go into essentially everywhere.
Which takes a lot of work. So
exactly. And I don't think a standard dog parent actually puts in that much training and effort to desensitize and train their dog to behave that way like a service dog would.
So I think that's like the answer for me. It's like, it's not a yes, it's not a no. It's like, if the dog can go, and this is including us, if we can take our dog somewhere and she can walk on a leash and behave, then yes, I think she should be allowed to go.
I mean,
if we
you
go
can't
somewhere
predict
like, I wouldn't take her to like a hockey game or something like that. Because it's the same thing. Like, why would you want your dog? If you're going to hold your dog in your hand or in your lap while you are watching a sports game or a movie or whatever, or a play, like, why?
That is just not fun for you.
And it's not fun for your dog.
Yeah.
Like,
it would stress my dog
I would rather let my dog just stay at home and chew on something or stay with somebody else or just stay at home and sleep. Because then at least they can relax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Imagine this woman probably takes her dog everywhere. That's probably why this dog's obese, because it probably doesn't sleep, doesn't rest unless it's at home. And it's just, see, now I'm against, you just said like, oh, I like this person. Now I actually don't like her because she's probably not very smart.
I mean, it's a very like romanticized, idealistic kind of way of
it's just
thinking.
Like everyone would love to take their most well-behaved child everywhere, but it's just not realistic. Your dog's being a little brat. You don't take them with you. You have to postpone whatever you're going to do.
I love how she said that the dog can clean up after a child. What? Why would I let my dog clean up someone's child?
Well, they would assume if it was like your child as well.
Ew.
But yeah, it was like, you shouldn't be letting your dog eat off of a random floor regardless. Like,
or random kids.
Yeah, so I think
it's just gross.
It's just
like if I sit in a restaurant and I would see that, I'd be like, please stop this. I don't know if I would
rather hear a baby than watch that, to be honest. I don't know. I think seeing a dog eating up like a mess on the floor would offend me more than a baby crying, actually. Because I'm like, how can you disrespect your dog so much that you're just letting it pick up?
We live in a society where everyone's offended by everything. Yeah. So there will be people who are offended by babies crying and also dogs being in places, because dogs do make people feel uncomfortable. We know that.
Oh yeah, you can just be out on the street and someone will like move out of the way.
Yeah. However, do I think there should be more options for people to take their dogs out? For instance, in the restaurants, to have like a dog area where just people with dogs can sit, to kind of separate them from the rest of the public. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe that's something that will start popping up.
Well, yeah, and just
also,
finish this.
Another thing that I think would be really good is traveling. Planes.
I know. Yeah, we've had this discussion. It blows
having
my mind
dogs
why
on a plane,
and
so that we can experience life with our dogs. We can take them places. We can take them to explore different areas of our world without stressing them out being in cargo. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah, and there's lots of argument. We've looked this up back and forth, and people will be like, I would never want to, because people see dogs as like dirty wild animals, but it's like,
but dogs like
but that's just you're not very educated then if you think that. And yeah, but that's the thing. The type of person that has that pit bull that's right from a shelter, very well behaved, normally those are, this is no offense to anyone, but like a lower income person that got it for free. Those type of people aren't going to be going on flights to Europe or to South America, wherever you're based out of. Those type of people would not be going anywhere to do these things. They wouldn't be going to fancy restaurants. But the people that maybe are the middle class or the higher class that have the time and the money to raise their dog properly, they're the ones who are more likely to do these things, and their dogs should hypothetically be more behaved.
Do you know what? I think so. Obviously, we have service dogs, which are, they're there to do a job.
Yes.
Well behaved, trained, amazing. They're allowed to go everywhere. And then we have the dogs that are absolute like shit show.
Terrors.
Like they don't behave. They're like fake service dogs, etc. However, there's nothing in the middle. Yeah. Why is there nothing in the middle for these people who want to take the dogs places and they know they're well behaved, but they're not on the level of a service dog?
I just thought of something that should exist. Now, this is a good idea. So in the U.S. and here in Canada, they have the Canine Good Neighbor, Canine Good Citizen. And that's like it's like an unofficial little certification
like a title that you put on your dog.
You have to, it's based on like, is your dog a good citizen? Do they know how to behave?
Yeah.
And I feel like if you are able to get this certification for your dog should be behaved, because it takes a little bit of work to get to that level. It should be like, hey, my dog has this certificate, just like a service dog.
Yeah.
They should be allowed, they're fine to be in this restaurant. Yeah. They're fine to be on this airplane.
And if they're not,
I think if
they're like really stressed and like it's just not their day, that's okay. I'm going to take that responsibility as a good, responsible dog owner and take my dog out of the situation.
That's a great idea. Using that as, because you said there's no middle ground, but maybe that should, I know this is not realistic, this is not real life, but like that would be a great idea of like, this is my pass that says, but we always talk about regulate training. That's the one thing of training I would be okay regulating is that test is like, it has to be this specific things your dog needs to do, and it's strict. No, like where your dog has to stay for 3 minutes while you leave the room. If it's 2 minutes, 59 seconds, no, that's a fail. Like it has to be strict passing, I think that would be huge. Anyway, that's kind of off on another.
Yeah, it's like having a driver's license, right? You're not allowed to drive a car unless you have a driver's license. Yeah. Why can you not pass certain tests with your dog in order to be able to take them?
Places.
Yeah. Man. More public places than there are already available.
It's starting to get more popular. Like there's the bar here where we live.
But then it would give people like a goal to achieve too, because right now people get dogs and they're like, oh, I don't know what to train them. I don't know how to make them well behaved. Well, now you would have these guidelines.
Yeah, there is. It's like the 10 things you have to do.
Be able to do these things. They have to be comfortable of you meeting another person and them just sitting there. Yeah. And other things, right? They have to be good with distractions and be able to listen to you. They have to know the recall and certain things like that. And it would give people that goal to aspire to.
Because imagine, like you said, you could go somewhere and take your dog on the plane. Yes, there's one airline that can do that, but it's extremely expensive. But it makes no sense that you cannot buy your dog a seat.
Yeah.
And some people were like, I would never pay $400 to take my dog somewhere. Well, then you're not the right person anyway. Then...
But that's okay.
That's fine. You don't have that bond. You wouldn't take your dog anyway. Or some people would be like, I'm fine putting them in cargo. And it's like, that's fine. Then you pay your $50 and put them in cargo. I want to pay the $500 and have my dog sitting next to me.
I would never put my dog in cargo.
So yeah, it's just something that we wanted to kind of talk about. And it is opinion based, but we wanted to give our opinion and I wanted to see what you thought about it because I know you're very. We love these little. Normally, so this episode would normally have been like a couch nighttime chat because this is what we do. We'll see a video, but I heard about this video and then I was like, you know what? Let's watch it, record, and do an episode and actually have our rants because this is exactly what we do.
Yeah.
When the cameras aren't rolling, is we're back and forth. And be like, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, what about this? Like all these hypotheticals, and it's fun.
I mean, hypotheticals are great because it kind of like it pops this idea of what would it be like if that could be the case, right?
And that's what we talk about all the time.
And this woman, like, bless her, right? She has this little chihuahua, and like, I get it. I would love to take my dog everywhere where it fits, where I would want to. I would like to have that freedom. However, there needs to be like a boundary. There needs to be specific guidelines. Hey, your dog needs to be these things in order to attend. And also, you don't want to stress your dog out. You don't want to take your dog everywhere anyway. Yeah. Why would I?
Yeah, no, exactly. There's certain places. And I think maybe she didn't get that point across is like, but maybe some people are so obsessed that their dogs are attached. Like that Chihuahua looks like, again, it doesn't walk anywhere.
It looks like a teddy bear. Like she literally has this dog.
Yeah, if it didn't move, I wouldn't have thought it was real, to be honest. Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. You're right. I think I think this is open for discussion, and we want to know what you think as well. Like, what are your thoughts on that video? What are your thoughts on should dogs be allowed to go anywhere? Yes, no, maybe, that kind of thing. It's, I like our kind of answer we kind of came up with together. It's like, depends on the circumstance and depends on how well behaved the dog is.
It's very, very gray
Of course
area.
it is, yeah. Well, but the whole dog world and industry is a gray area. That's a problem because it is. It's just dogs are seen differently. But as like you said, we would take Maple certain places because she is well behaved.
Yeah.
Aspen, who is a 6-month-old puppy, we would not take anywhere. I would not take the pet store.
Although, there are certain places where I'm just like, oh, we can't go there because Maple can't go in, right? And it's just like,
or we both have to go, or so one person can stay outside, because sometimes we'll go to like a mountain town and we have to take turns going in shops. One person has to stay out with the dog.
And it doesn't make sense how she's allowed to go to one, like a retail store and not the other,
what bothers me is like when we were there a couple months ago and we wanted to go just get a coffee. Like, why couldn't we just walk in the little coffee shop with our well-behaved dog? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just a coffee.
Just silly. Yeah, we just wanted to get a quick coffee and come out. But again, I guess it's the hair and the allergies, and there's so many like little things that maybe we don't think about because we have a dog. We're not like, oh, now all of a sudden I have dog hair. We're not like
that anal, right? Like if you're a dog owner, you probably put all the hygiene out the window.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's a hair in my coffee. It's okay. Yeah. However, for some people, that's a big deal.
And I guess
and that's the thing. This woman is not thinking about other people. She's thinking about herself and her own needs, right?
And that guy that was interviewing obviously doesn't have a dog if he thinks golden retrievers are all dumb. So that just shows you he's someone who doesn't have a dog and maybe doesn't like dogs. So and he kept saying, "Oh, that thing is fine." Like not saying your dog. He's like literally talking to that dog like it's an object.
Yeah.
And so that's where you're going to come into the argument where the problem with human babies is a baby's a baby. Everyone knows what that is.
Yeah.
Whether you like them or not, we were all like that. We all understand babies cry. We all understand babies are annoying. Babies can be gross.
We understand it. However, it's about tolerating things, right?
So I guess that's it for this episode.
The doorbell rung and everyone's going crazy.
So the dogs are going crazy. So that's kind of a good cue to stop this episode.
Yes.
We would just, let us know what you think. Let us
know what you think.
If you know someone who feels this way, share this with them. We'd love them to hear.
If you have someone who's absolutely against seeing dogs anywhere they go and they just hate them, let us know too. Why not?
But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.